Today we are going to discuss about the topic of the basics of management. Start with your introduction of the management. Management is the administration of an organization, whether it is a business, a non-profit organization, or a government body. Management includes the activities of setting the strategy of an organization and coordinating the efforts of its employees to accomplish its objective through the application of verbal and available resources such as financial, natural, technological, and human resource. Run the business and change the business are two concepts that are used to management to differentiate between the continued delivery of goods and services and adapting of goods or services to meet the changing needs of the customers. So see triad. In the next slide, principles of management basically. What kind of principles we have? In this, we will talk that a principle is a basic statement that proves and provides understanding and guidance to thinking and action. It refers to a fundamental truth that explains relationship between two or more sets of variables under a given situation. A principle predicts the results of certain causes in the specific set of conditions. In this, we have a division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordinate of individual interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability, initiative, and aspire the corps. So, the principles of management provides guidelines for managerial decisions making and actions. Basically, we will talk that management is nowadays is a very important. It was the reality of day-to-day managing, seeing what worked and what didn't, that informed his principles of management by focusing on administration over technical skills. The principles are some of the earliest examples of the treating management as a profession. Basically, principles, activities having the common goals must have one head and one plane. This helps in bringing unity of action and coordination in an organization. I'm giving you example that if a company is manufacturing two different products, it should have two separate divisions or departments for more their products. Henry Fowles, the principles of management. Henry Fowles basically are that kind of person who inspired us for doing something very seriously. Because according to this, that principles of management is work very sincerely. Henry Fayol, a French industrialist, is now recognized as the father of modern management. In the year of 1916, Fayol wrote a book entitled Industrial and Journal Administration. In this book, he gave the 14 principles of management. I am instruct you firstly, division of work or division of labor, balancing authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to the general interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure of personnel, initiative, and inspirit the corps. Henry Fayol made contributions to management roles, that is, he identified all activities into 5 categories and distributed between technical and managerial activities. He classified managerial activities into functions such as planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Fayol developed 14 principles of management which act as a guide for managers for performing their managerial activities. So the first principles of management, like first is division of work. Division of work basically when we divided our work in a different styles. Division of labor, the separation of a work processes into a number of tasks, with each task performed by a separate person or a group of persons. It is most often applied to systems of mass production and is one of the basic organizing principles of the assembly line. Next is the centralization. Centralization basically refers to the process in which activities involving planning and decision making within an organization, depending on a company's goal, and the industries are concentrated to a specific leader. Next is the discipline. In the discipline, to push or penalize for the sake of enforcing obedience and perfecting moral change. To train or develop by instruction and exercise, especially in self-control, to bring under control disciplined troops. Next is the responsibility. Responsibility basically refers to an obligations to perform the certain functions in order to achieve the certain results. I'm giving you example. If you don't vote, don't complain about the results. Many people gave their lives so we can vote, making it an honor and responsibility. Next is the scalar chain. Scalar chain is the chain of all the supervisors from the top management to the persons working in the lowest rank. Scalar chain identifies the path along which communication has to flow in order for the communication to be effective in an organization. In the next, principles of division of work. Basically, in this, division of work implies division of the total task in order to lighten the total burden and promote specialization in such a way that one person does only one thing rather than doing everything himself. It is true that one person can do a single work rather in a 1 hour, rather in a 6 hours, or rather in a whole time by 24 hours 7. This helps to avoid the waste of time and effort caused by changes from one work to another. Fuel has opined that this principle of division of work and specialization should be applied to all kinds of work, technical as well as managerial. In the next, principle of parity between authority and responsibility. This principle states that authority and responsibility should go side by side because we have to do both things and both works in a parallel. If we are doing one side in the authority and secondly we have to do some kind of responsibility regarding their work. A person can be accountable for certain activities only if he has been given authority for getting the work done. Responsibility and authority should be commensurate with each other. Authority without responsibility leads to irresponsible behavior, while responsibility without authority makes a person ineffective. Principles of discipline. Discipline means obedience, respect of authority, and observance of the established rules. Discipline is essential for the smooth running of business, and without it, no business can prosper. According to the Fuel, good supervision at all levels, clarity of rules, and built-in system of reward and punishment help to maintain discipline. This is a rule rather in the company, rather in the job line, or rather in the study line. We have to maintain a discipline around their surroundings. If we don't follow this disciplines and rules, this is against our policy and our manners. So we have to do all kind of things in a disciplined manners. Next, principle of unity of command. These principles state that one person should receive order from only one superior. In other words, one person should be accountable to only one boss. That's true. Boss is just a one person. You can't a whole people can be a boss. If one person is under more than one boss, then there can be contradictory orders and the subordinate fails to understand whose orders to be followed. Yes, we have to follow the orders to our boss if we are doing a job in a company. If I'm talking about the study line, that student has to proper maintain the orders of the teachers. In the next, Principles of unity of directions. The principle of unity of directions means that there should be one head and one plane for a group of activities having the same objectives. You just have to unity. Without unity, your group is just a fake and it can be a break and come. Because without unity, a group can't do anything and a peoples can't do anything. Because majority unity is nowadays is a very important part between us. Each group of activities with the same objective must have one plan to active and must be under the control of one supervisor. Principles of subordination of individual interest to general interest. This principle implies harmony of personal interest and common interest. Peale was of the opinion that the interest of one employee or a group of employees should not prevail over the interest of the enterprise as a whole. Fair agreements with subordinates and constant supervision are essential to prevent promotion of individual interest at the cost of the general interest. Next, principle of fair remuneration to workers. Peale was of the view that the remuneration paid to the workers should always be just and fair and should afford maximum satisfaction to both employees and the employers. That's also true. If you are pay up their payment in the proper time and you just remove them, employees feel very comfortable and they feel happy to work with you. And similarly, employer is also feel very better. If you don't get their money in a proper time, they feel a very bad and their disrespect, so they can't do your job in a very good manner and happily, so your whole company can be destroyed. So first of all, we have to feel respect and happy to our workers, to our employees, and we should have to pay them in a proper time. The management must ensure fair rewards for the work and decide the most equitable method of calculating wages. It should provide sufficient incentive to the well-directed effort, but overpayment beyond reasonable limits is undesirable. Principles of effective centralization and decentralization. Centralization means concentration of authority in the hands of few, that is top management. Everything which goes to increase the importance of subordinates' role is decentralization, and everything which goes to reduce it is centralization. The degree of centralization may be different in different cases. Not a balance must be maintained between centralization and decentralization of authority to attain the best possible results. Principles of scalar chain. Scalar chain refers to the chain of superior ranging from the ultimate authority to the lowest ranks. Peale felt that a hierarchy channel called the scalar chain is necessary to ensure unity of command and effective communication. I'm giving you an example. The scalar chain in an organization is represented by the double ladder. Any communication from F to P will flow upwards to A through E D, C, and B. Then downwards through L, M, N, and O. It will obviously take a long time. Hence, in order to minimize the delay involved in communication, a gangplank between F and P may be created as shown by a solid time. What kind of principles of order? Principles of order doesn't mean command, but it refers to orderly arrangement of men and material. There is a fixed place for everything and everyone in the organization. Phil was one of the opinion that there must be a fixed place to keep every material and other things used in the organization. This order will ensure that no time is wasted in locating any material or any person. Next is the equity. Equity means justice and kindliness. Phil was of the opinion that to encourage workers to fulfill their duties and devotion and loyalty management to deal with employees with equity based on kindness and justice. Equity means application of same disciplinary and other rules in the same way, irrespective of their grade, gender, position, etc. We have to know and we have to maintain equity between men and women. We don't have to feel a less towards what kind of person standing behind us. We don't feel a less towards them that I'm very low person, he's a very strong person. We don't feel like that. We just have to feel the equity, rather boys, rather girls, rather men and women. Principles of stability in the tenure of the personnel. Stability is the tenure of personnel is very essential because it takes time to get used to a job. It also causes instability and insecurity in the minds of the workers. To secure loyalty of workers, it is very essential to provide security of service to the workmen. Peale was of the view that instability of tenure of personnel is both the cause and effect of bad management. Principles of initiative. We have to take initiative that we can do this thing in a good manner and I will manage the whole workers or the employees that they will do very feel comfortable regarding their work. Initiative implies the power of thinking out a plan and ensuring its successful implementation. The managers should encourage or inspire the confidence of his subordinates so that they show initiative. Peale suggests that the manager should sacrifice his own vanity. Initiative is a powerful motivator of human behavior and a source of strength for the organization. What kind of principles of despite the goals? The principles implies that there should be a cooperation and teamwork among the members of an organization. Despite the corps means the spirit of loyalty and devotion to the group of to which one belongs. The managers must always make a constant effort, harmony, and inspire the corps among its subordinates to ensure unity and high morale, which is very essential for the success of an enterprise. Management should try to develop a sense of belongingness among the employees and work with the team spirit to achieve organizational goals. Thank you so much. I hope you're clear about the all context of the management, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. That is the major part of the management, because without these things, we can't do any kind of manage and any kind of plans we can do. Thank you so much.